Back in the middle of the 15th century, there was this one invention that completely rewired how we as humans think. Seriously. It didn't just change how we make books, it changed how we argue, how we share ideas, and even what we believe. This is the story of the printing press, the machine that figured out how to duplicate thought itself.
Just take a second and really try to imagine that. Every single book you've ever laid your hands on, your textbooks from school, your favorite novels, even a simple instruction manual, every single one had to be copied by hand, letter by painful letter. In a world like that, knowledge isn't something you can just Google. No way. It's this incredibly rare treasure, basically locked away and owned by a tiny, select few.
I mean, the difference is just night and day, isn't it? On one side, you've got the scribe's world, where information moves at the speed of a tired hand, getting more and more expensive and frankly full of errors with every new copy. But on the other side, a world of fast, affordable, and practically perfect copies. This wasn't just some small improvement. It was a complete and total reset on how information works.
So, how did we get from there to here? Well, here's our game plan. First, we're going to step back into that quiet, candlelit world before the press. Then we'll travel east to check out the first sparks of this idea. After that, we land in Germany to really break down Gutenberg's brilliant system. From there, we'll watch the information floodgates just burst open and follow the ripple effects all the way to, well, the device you're watching this on right now.
All right, so let's start our story in a world without printing, a time you could pretty accurately call the prison of knowledge.
Let's really get our heads around the problem here. A single scribe, a professional, might dedicate an entire year to copying just one book. The material it was written on, parchment, was made from animal skins and cost a fortune. So a finished book, it was literally as valuable as a small house or a farm. And here's the kicker. Humans make mistakes. A tired eye, a slip of the pen. Those errors were copied right into the next version, and then those new errors were copied into the next. The original text was slowly getting corrupted over time.
But here's the thing. The idea of printing didn't just pop up out of nowhere in Germany. Long before Gutenberg, there were these incredible sparks of innovation coming from the East.
So, centuries earlier in China, inventors came up with woodblock printing. They'd carve an entire page onto a single block of wood. This was awesome for making tons of copies of one page. But if you spotted a typo, you had to carve a whole new block. They even invented movable type later on, first with clay, and in Korea, they forged it out of metal. So why didn't the revolution start there? Well, the biggest roadblock was the language itself. When your alphabet has thousands of unique characters, creating and organizing a full set of type was a logistical nightmare.
And that is what sets the stage for Gutenberg. You see, the guy who finally cracked the code wasn't a scholar or a scribe. He was Johannes Gutenberg, a goldsmith from Mainz, Germany. He knew metal, he knew casting, he knew how to apply pressure. And that hands-on craftsman expertise, that was his secret weapon.
See, Gutenberg's genius wasn't one single invention. It was a system of 4 brilliant ideas all working together perfectly. First, he created just the right metal alloy for the type, easy to cast but tough enough to last. Second, and this was his true masterstroke, he invented the hand mold. This little device let him mass-produce identical letters quickly and with incredible precision. Third, he cooked up a new oily ink that would actually stick to the metal, which the watery scribe ink wouldn't do. And fourth, he took a machine everyone knew, a wine press, and adapted it to apply strong, even pressure. It was the combination of all 4 that changed the world.
And all of that came together in what we call the movable type system. The process itself is beautiful in its simplicity. You arrange the letters, you print the page, and then, and this is the magic part, you break it all apart and reuse those exact same letters for the very next page. It was a cycle of almost infinite efficiency. So, with this amazing system in place, the world was about to see what would happen. This was the beginning of the Great Information Flood.
To show everyone what his invention could do, Gutenberg took on the most ambitious project you can imagine, printing the entire Bible. And this wasn't just about being fast, it was a work of art. It was designed to prove that his machine could make books that were just as beautiful, if not more beautiful, than the finest handwritten manuscripts. The project was so massive and so expensive it actually bankrupted him in the end, but it proved his point to the entire world.
Now, to really get the impact here, we need a baseline. So remember this number, 50. Back in the Middle Ages, if you had a library with 50 books, you were considered a world-class institution. That was a massive collection.
Okay, now look at this number, 20
million. Within just 50 years of Gutenberg's invention, Europe was swimming in over 20 million new books. That's more books than all the scribes in all of history had produced combined. It wasn't a stream of new information. It was a tidal wave. It just washed the old world away.
And the effects were immediate and they were total. All of a sudden, normal people, students, merchants, could actually afford books. New religious ideas, like those that sparked the Protestant Reformation, spread like wildfire, completely bypassing the old authorities. Scientists like Copernicus and Galileo could share their precise findings and diagrams, allowing other scientists to build on their work. And printers, who wanted to sell to the biggest audience possible, started standardizing local dialects, which in turn helped create the national languages we speak today.
So, what does a machine from the 1400s have to do with us today? Oh, just about everything. This is the story of how that press ended up right in our pockets.
Gutenberg's press started a chain reaction that's still going. His wooden press led to the industrial steam press, which then led to the super high-speed rotary press that could print millions of newspapers a day. And the end of that line? The internet, which, if you think about it, is just an infinite instant printing press that lives in our pockets.
When you really boil it all down, this is what Gutenberg did. He didn't just invent a way to print books faster. He invented a way to duplicate thoughts, to take an idea from one single mind and plant it in millions of others, accurately and cheaply.
And that leaves us with a really important question. Right now, every one of us holds the power of a printing press in our hands. We have the ability to duplicate and spread ideas instantly, all across the globe. So the question Gutenberg's invention asks of us is this: what thoughts will we choose to duplicate next? Thanks for joining me.